When you're finally ready to upgrade from the cramped desk mount setup you've been fighting with for months, the first thought that pops into your head is usually, what if I spend a ton of cash and end up with a cockpit that still feels like a cheap DIY project? I've been there spending hours watching unboxing videos, scrolling through endless forums, and trying to figure out if the next big thing is really worth the splurge. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The truth is, the right cockpit can turn a weekend hobby into a semi-professional experience, but the wrong one can leave you with a half-assembled metal frame that takes up space and gathers dust. The Next Level Racing FGT Elite 160 Plate Edition is billed as the no-compromise, all-in-one solution for sim racers who want a solid, ready-to-go platform. What that really means is you get a 160mm by 40mm aluminum extrusion frame that's been powder-coated black and anodized for extra durability. The frame is pre-drilled, so you can bolt on virtually any steering wheel, pedal set, or shifter that follows the usual mounting patterns. That sounds simple enough, but the real question is whether that simplicity translates into everyday usability without a hidden learning curve. If you're the type of gamer who already owns a decent wheel and pedal set and just needs a sturdy base to mount them, the Elite 160 is a solid match. The custom NLR base is engineered for rigidity, meaning when you slam the brakes in a hairpin turn, the chassis barely flexes. In my own test rig, I set the wheel to full lock, pushed the pedals hard, and the whole thing stayed rock solid, with no squeaks or wobble. That's the kind of confidence you need when you're trying to shave milliseconds off lap times. For people who are still on the entry-level side, using a basic gamepad or a budget wheel, this cockpit might feel a bit overkill. You'll be paying for a platform that can handle high-end peripherals you don't yet own, and that could stretch your budget beyond what you need right now. One of the biggest hidden trade-offs with a metal extrusion cockpit is the assembly process. The Elite 160 comes with everything pre-drilled, but you still have to align the bolts, tighten the corners, and make sure the base sits level on the floor. If you've never used a wrench or followed a torque chart, you'll spend an hour or two just getting the frame together. That's not a deal breaker, but it's something to consider if you're hoping for a plug-and-play experience. The instructions are clear, and the parts are labeled, yet the sheer size of the aluminum pieces can be intimidating. I found it helpful to have a friend hold the frame while I tightened the corners, otherwise you risk the whole thing tipping over mid-assembly. Another practical point is space. The 160mm profile is relatively compact compared to larger 180mm or 200mm rigs, which makes it a better fit for a typical bedroom or home office. The footprint is roughly the size of a small coffee table, and the legs can be tucked under a desk when you're not using the setup. However, the height is fixed, and you can't easily raise or lower the cockpit without buying additional riser kits. If you're tall, you might find yourself reaching up for the wheel or having to adjust your seat height dramatically. That's a common issue with many fixed-height rigs, and the Elite 160 doesn't offer a built-in adjustment mechanism. In terms of value for money, the price point sits in the mid-range for aluminum rigs. You're paying for the high-grade aluminum extrusion, the powder-coated finish, and the fact that the frame is built to accommodate a wide range of accessories. The no-compromise claim is mostly about the rigidity and the universal mounting options. If you compare it to cheaper steel frames, the Elite 160 feels noticeably more stable under aggressive inputs. On the flip side, you won't get the ultra-low profile or built-in vibration dampening that premium carbon fiber rigs boast. If you're chasing a truly silent, ultra-smooth feel, you might need to look at higher-priced options that incorporate additional damping materials. Who should definitely consider buying this? Think of someone who already has a decent wheel and pedal combo, say a Logitech G29 or a Thrustmaster T300 RS, and wants a sturdy platform that won't bend after a few intense races. It's also a good fit for streamers or content creators who need a reliable, repeatable setup. The solid frame means the camera angle stays consistent, and the pre-drilled holes let you attach a mount for a GoPro or a DSLR without having to drill new holes yourself. If you're a casual gamer who only plays once a week, or if you're on a tight budget and still planning to upgrade your peripherals later, you might be better off with a simpler, less expensive steel frame or even a fold-up rig that you can store away. The practical strengths are clear: a robust aluminum build that resists flex, a universal mounting system that saves you the hassle of buying adapters, and